Ugh, the Python
Big old
one.
flex.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Definitely
man.
been
It's
a
good to
while
see you,
since
bro. It's good to see you.
you too, brother.
How are things?
Introducing AV, the my day one. Um, yeah, things are good, man. Arizona is going through a fucking nasty haboob right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're getting hit hard. It's gross, but it's not rain
Oh,
right now. It's just starting, so it's all dust and nasty
and
wind
humid?
and gross. Actually, it's really cool out right now,
Really?
but it's been cool the
Whoa.
last few days, so that's kind of why. But yeah, man, what a fucking weekend, bro.
So
Holy
good, dude.
yikes, bro. I was this close to not buying it. What's going on,
yes.
Scott?
What up?
Yeah, dude, I
It
was
was
so pumped.
it was a crazy weekend for arm wrestling to say the least. So many good matches, some upsets that people I think were a little shocked about. I know I was definitely a little shocked. And a lot of that after pulling I sent you guys, like a lot of that stuff, a lot of crazy people right now in Dubai pulling right now, just messing
Yeah,
around. It's
actually, I
interesting.
should write that down because there was one that in particular I saw that I was really hyped on. But yeah, man, King of the Table 5 is what we're talking about today. For some of the Arizona guys, we have a Tucson event that's going on tomorrow that we'll talk about at the end
Yeah, I
afterwards.
want to hear about that for sure.
Yeah, what up, Jake in the chat? What's going on?
What's up,
Um,
Jake?
but obviously a ton of talk, a ton of to talk about. Jake or
Yes.
Scott, if you guys at some point want in, DM me and I'll send you the link if you guys want to join the convo. But what was your like number one takeaway, the number one moment, if you will, for you for the whole event?
It's tough. I think between the first match and the last match, it's hard, man. Because
Yeah,
to me, the biggest surprise, like the match I think that had the most curiosity behind it was the Khaled Schoolboy
yeah,
match. It
yeah.
was
Then
like
with
nobody
the
just
whole
knows what's going to
Ryan,
happen.
right?
Correct. I mean, the Ryan thing was just him trying to, bring that BDE out and just like, I'll beat everybody.
Kind of silly, but hey,
Yeah, I mean,
it
it's rare
worked in his
anybody
favor.
pulls two super matches, same arm.
Dude, can you imagine if
No.
he would have beat Schoolboy the way he did and then also beat Ryan in
He
any form or fashion? I don't care. Everyone better bow down to my man. I mean, even still, I
insane.
mean, yeah, dude.
Insane. And he's been arm wrestling less than a year, dude. Less
What
than a
is up?
year. What
There
up?
you guys, Josiah in the chat.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a surprise for me. I also was a little shocked by his hand. Like, obviously, his
Crazy.
hand is nuts, but like what he was able to do in like non-arm wrestling positions, he would like there was points where he would like and then bring it all the way back. He was like curled up.
Crazy wrist strength, dude.
I just don't think it's fathomable like a Dennis Shaplankov or a Khalid or something like that when you grab their hand. Obviously, John Brzezinski is like the biggest hand or the like most unnatural hand that we've grabbed here in Arizona.
Sure.
But that dude's a normal dude. That's a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a thick hand, don't get me wrong, but that's a normal dude.
Just
Khalid,
genetically gifted, dude.
yeah, not a normal dude. So, I'm interested as far as that goes, what's next for him, because they're talking
Yeah.
about a fresh for fresh with Ryan Bowen, and I'm just like,
Did you watch the so I've just been since I gave myself a day to like run through everything again. So yesterday I was watching the Voice of Arm Wrestling, Ryan Bowen, and then two other guys were doing a podcast. I'll send it to you.
the
But
strong
that's one thing they talked about. Yeah, it might be.
Mark Lloyd.
It's like a dude with glasses. No, these are like young arm wrestling kids. They were like just your Joe Schmo podcasters. I'll have to look them up. But they had Ryan Bowen in the room after the event, and him and Coach Ray were going back and forth. And Ryan's like, I don't know, fresh for fresh. And it wasn't about the technique. He just was like, could I pin him fresh? What's up, Matthew?
What's going on, Matt? We're going to talk about some of the matches here soon.
And yeah, that's the only thing. It's like when Schoolboy hit and it was like he just rolls into that open, very weird open king's move,
Nuts.
and it's very confusing. So I think once he's going to be very difficult to beat once he gets more technical and can stay in certain positions instead of, you know, the dumping top roll or the king's move, you know, like a Devin King's move with somebody like that is like, oh God, what are you, like, where are you going to go?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised by how straightened out he was and like not really worried about breaking his arm. I mean, obviously you got to have the heart to do it, and he's an MMA fighter, so he was not going to get beat without giving his all. But at the same time, I think that's why he was saying in the interview, the post interview, that he's injured, and that's what happened with Ryan. Is he couldn't do anything. That's probably why, dude. When you kings move,
you leave your bicep.
Yeah,
it's all bicep because he doesn't have the technique to pronate.
No.
So he's just open and he cups his wrist in and he's just holding and it's just pulling on his bicep.
And you're not getting out of that hand at that very end when it's like this. You know what I mean? It's not. No.
Not fresh. Now, Ryan did top roll him. He went into his hand and just rolled it. So, I mean.
But if you have no arm for a post.
Correct.
Then, you know what I mean?
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
When you lose your post, it's not fun.
I don't think it's close for fresh for fresh. I think Khaled should arm wrestle dudes that are in his weight class.
It also said he was 266, 6 feet tall. What a tank, dude. Boy. That's 100 pounds almost more than me.
He's got to be bigger than 6 foot. He looks like he's at least 6'2", bro. But that's pretty
massive, dude.
Thick boy. Thick boy.
So that had to be the most surprising match, I think, just based on credibility, Schoolboy being such an elite and Khaled walking in as almost, you could call him an amateur arm wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, he arm wrestles with pros, but that's his biggest stage besides the other king of the table.
And another thing with that, dude, we were all so ready to see like this new, like big old Schoolboy, this 22-year-old or whatever he is, fucking I don't know how old he is. And
he's 21 or 22, yeah.
Wanted to see him just like 300 pounds and just like jacked and stuff. And he was huge. He looked great, but once
massive kid too.
Just
that's what I say, man. The base of arm wrestling is still strength at the end of the day. Like you can be small and technical and have this and that, but you still have to be strong, man. If the guy across from you is stronger, you're still up against the wall.
It's a 22-year-old man versus a grown ass man, which is funny because I think Khaled's like 28.
Crazy. And they said when they first, like when Devin, I remember when he was on Larry's channel with Devin, and they were like, "Who is this kid? Look at his hand. Let's get him on the table." The dude said he never lifted a weight. Now I don't know how accurate that is, but he looks like he's been in the gym for the last 15, 20 years. Right. What up, Ben?
What's up, Ben? Ben, shoot me a DM right now if you want to get into this. He was one of the people that said he wanted to join the convo, but
yeah, you should for sure, man.
I think he has a match in Tucson actually, but yeah, and so that was a good one. Obviously, the Ryan thing is extra, but big things from Khaled.
I'm proud of Ryan. I'm proud that he was able to win that, and at least he, I mean, it was like Ryan said though, it was either way. This was Khaled's benefit. If you won, fair shot, but I mean, you can't do 2 super matches same arm.
No.
Unless they're a breeze. I mean, I guess if they're all top roll pins, you probably could, but if they're wars, no way.
Matt wants to get in on the chat too.
Hell yeah, man, get them all.
And then what I say about the Lachlan versus Irakli match, called that one.
Called that one. I don't think people understand how strong Irakli is. But I guess you got definitely
oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Juan took the match. Oh, I'm interested to hear who he's arm wrestling then.
It's Kelso. We'll talk about it. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you said, most people don't know how strong Irakli is. Also, I think it's a horrible idea, and I've seen this a few times now when the folks go over to Dubai. The guys can't hold themselves back, and they'll arm wrestle their opponent in a practice pull prior offhand. So if they're doing right hand, they're going to pull each other left hand, just like feel each other. That's the dumbest thing you can do. That's so stupid to do. Not only that,
don't even shake his hand.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even touch him. But like when you
No.
watch the Irakli versus Lachlan match, the warm up prior, left-handed, it was the same exact thing that
Blowout.
happened right-handed. Just emulated. When you train the
people
same
don't like-
right-handed for left, then what do you expect to happen? That dude's going to be just as strong. That dude is world elite level. And I don't know,
Correct.
like I said before, I want to know who made that match. Was that Lachlan? Was that?
It's probably
that was,
Larry. They're
yeah,
probably Adam Silver's probably setting up the matches. But it's like, is any match a bad match at that stage?
It's a
You
mismatch.
know, like, I mean, I know to us it looks like a bad match, but it's like when you watch like Brock Lesnar fight another heavyweight, like somebody's gonna get knocked the fuck, like someone's gonna lose
Yeah.
bad usually. They're
Yeah,
not
and-
usually close when you get to that size.
And Lachlan is a lot heavier than Irakli. I want to say he's
Big,
probably
bro.
got 40 pounds
Big.
on him, probably. So.
Correct. But if you can't stop a top roll in arm wrestling, there's only so much you can do. You can't hook everybody if they can top roll you.
Right.
You can press them, but nobody presses like I mean, that can go right into our boy Dave Chafee. I mean,
I was just about to say,
what a press.
Who knew that guy had that starting in a press at go, just leaning right into it. That was
crazy, man. And that's just, they call that from the booth. I'm sure you heard him. They go, oh, look, there he goes. He sees where he can go. He's moving his shoulder around. And the problem is Vitaly doesn't have another weapon.
Well, no, he's a low-handed top roller because of his length, and if it doesn't work, then he's a king's mover, essentially.
Correct.
All right, we got Matt in the chat here.
Nice. Hey,
Bustamante.
What's up, dude?
Nothing. Just thought I'd jump in.
Hell yeah, man. It's good to have you.
Absolutely.
We were just talking about the Vitaly Dave, just kind of like the switch up from Dave being able to start in a hook kind of press we've never seen before, just completely surprised and not only impressed, but like kind of shocked, if I'm honest. Like,
yeah.
I mean, not only was that probably the biggest moment of the match, but I was standing. I was like freaking out. I was like, am I watching what I'm watching right now? I don't know. I didn't really talk about predictions up to leading to this, but I had Vitaly smoking Dave 6-0. I thought it was not even going to be close.
For sure.
And
I had
style-based, you would think.
Yeah. You said what, Matt?
I thought it was going to be a toss-up. I thought that either one could win it. I thought that Dave had the lanes and Vitaly also had the lanes. It was who could get where first.
Yeah.
And, it turned out true. So.
I would have thought that the strap would have played such a large factor as far as advantage towards one side, and didn't really know whose side, because Dave is such a massive individual, a thick dude, that he's usually always on the strap advantage. But how many people make Dave Chafee look small, bro?
Yeah, he was big, dude. He wasn't even on the camera, like the top of his head when they were at the table.
The dude gets up to the table, and I'm just like, oh, can you imagine? Like, it's like standing across the cage from Francis Ngannou, and you're just like, yeah, I gotta fight that guy right now. This dude's 6'7", 3 something, and you're just like, yeah, he's an ice road truck driver. He probably lifts people for a living. It's just like, what the hell, bro?
But once you're on that table, man, you're all the same size. He has to squat down and get down there. So, I mean, he is. I mean, when he stands back up, though.
I've heard Derek Smith talk about how he kind of looks at it as like a disadvantage for the taller guys. Whereas in like the real short guys get a riser. But if the taller you get, you don't get any like raising of the table or anything like that.
Like a shorter side of the table.
Straight up, you know what I mean?
100%. Good match, though. Crazy match, dude. Went all 7 rounds. Both guys were tremendously gassed out.
Hospital visits.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like,
very strange.
That was nuts. Never seen someone get carted off like that.
I was just about to say, that might be a first for me, at least.
Not even in that 7-minute Cataret and Michael Todd match, dude. They went right back to the table right after that.
The Cataret versus who did he just have a match? Gennady? His Gennady and Jerry match? I was watching because it's been so long since we saw Jerry and like all this talk leading up of him being old and stuff. I was so worried I was going to witness an arm wrestler have a stroke or like a heart attack live as I was watching that time. And then Arizona State pay-per-view. Okay. Don Underwood is arm wrestling.
I missed that.
Wayne Withers.
Bro, that's
Yeah.
another one where I'm watching this man like in person and I'm like worried. I'm like, I know he can't breathe. I know he can only pour so much more sweat until he doesn't weigh
Right.
anymore. You know what I mean? Like I was worried, bro. So yeah, man, that's
Oh
the
yeah.
fucking heart of arm wrestling, those kind of matches. And we only yes, he about died for real. Oh yeah, Ben was there. Bro. We were both there and I was watching, I was like, oh my God, dude, like this is not good. Like, but if you're willing to put your life on the line, I mean, respect, bro. Hella respect.
Oh yeah.
That's professionalism. That's that professional aspect of the sport, you know. So
How far are you willing to go, right?
yeah.
100%. And I mean, we all go there. It's not an ego sport until you're hurt on the table, and then for me, it turns into my ego is just like, no, dude, I'll be
break
out
my
for
shit.
6 months to win this stupid amateur tournament. Like, not a good idea. Not a good idea. So,
Not recommended. 10 out of 10,
No.
not recommended.
no, because I just cannot shake this injury, dude.
And then you have Morozov and Dodikon left-handed, which I was pretty surprised.
Very surprising outcome.
Yeah. Artem Morozov with a really big showing out over Cody Merritt and kind of like solidifying that number one in the left in the world because of the rank that Cody had. And then Dodikon just comes out of nowhere and he's just like smack, smack the first 2 rounds. I'm like, oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
and then that ties me into what we were talking about earlier with your after pulls video that you posted, man. That Dodikon dude, obviously Irakli was probably pretty cooked, but Irakli couldn't even hold on to Dodikon right-handed. And so I'm really wondering what he's injecting, what is happening with this Dodikon dude, because he is
It's longevity too, man. Like it's so much time. Like I can understand how people say the longer you do this, the easier it does get. Like that I can agree with.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this for so long. But yeah, I mean, everybody at that level is pumped up on something.
Dude,
You
like
have to.
his forearms had abs. Like it was nuts, bro.
Big old bicep knots. It's crazy, dude. They're all built different.
I knew it was going to be a good fight. I didn't think he'd give Artem that much. I thought Artem
That's
would.
what I meant too. Yeah.
I thought it'd be tough in the early rounds. Maybe Dodikon would like sneak in a pin at the beginning, but then I thought Artem would get in his groove, set the hook a little better, and just take over. And that was a dog fight.
Apparently, he had a minor injury and couldn't go inside, was what they were saying. So he had to do outside, which is what we all saw.
Got you. All right. Yeah, I didn't watch any of it live. I had to watch a lot of the stuff after the fact. I was at work at the time, so it sucked. But no, that was.
I had to turn the chat off because I was trying to watch it throughout the day, and I kept seeing the chat pop up, and I was like, "No, I gotta silence my phone."
Yeah, no, I got home in time for the Vitalian Dave match. That's the only
That's all
one
that
that I saw.
matters.
Hey, it was one of the best ones there, for sure.
Best one I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
and the only way Dave, I think, was winning, the only way to beat, I think, somebody at Vitali's stature is to have, he's got to have more back pressure because he's just not, Vitali couldn't get the higher post. Dave's just driving sideways and backwards
Well,
and just taking away everything.
Yeah, you're pretty much always going to have the height when you're 6'7", right?
Correct.
I mean, so, yeah, and not only that, but people always talk about Dave's side pressure, how different it is, where, like, he doesn't need
different.
Well, he doesn't need, like, this really deep cup in order to drive behind his shoulder. He almost is, like, flat-wristed, and his entire body moves as, like, a hydraulic press, and it's so, like,
Yeah.
It's not pronation guided. It's not supination guided. It's so different than probably what you practice and what you normally feel that you're just like backwards,
Yeah.
forwards, you know what I mean? And it's just
Where you try to roll out of it and then it goes this way. It's going to the side anyway. So you're not really rolling out of it.
Crazy though. Absolutely crazy. And then of course, before we get off the king of the table subject, how can we not talk about the European GOAT, the Russian Hulk himself,
calling out Brzezinski,
returning to the sport?
Oh yeah,
love so much. I don't care if he fights arm. I don't care who he fights. I don't care if he arm wrestles Matt. I don't.
I'll arm wrestle him right now, dude. No problem.
I want to see it. I want to see it. But
left-handed too.
Obviously, he's got something to offer because we're watching him arm wrestle some of these high-level dudes, and they're like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Is this even a real thing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just stonewalling people, dude. He's just staring at him and just.
Obviously, won't be the Dennis of old, but how close can we get, or where can we get? Because a lot of the things that you need for arm wrestling have not gone away.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I would at least I think, or I hope. I think more or less the worry was like the dude's gonna have a fucking heart attack or stroke or die or something like that if he exerts himself.
I think he had kidney disease from like steroid use, and
he took steroids.
I think
what?
So.
What?
No.
There's no way a guy takes steroids who has a size 9 shoe and a hand the size of a lunchbox.
Don't tell me that.
I thought I could get that.
Oh man. Yeah. You see him grip up with Ryan Bowen though. Ryan and him arm wrestled, and he was just smiling at him.
Well, first it was Larry, and we got some nice data off that. And then Ryan Bowen cooks Khaled, and we know he's got some nice tools in his belt and all that. And he's just like, what the fuck, dude? So
can't do anything.
Right. So then there's that. I mean, I really think he probably, and he talked about this on the Mark Boyd Strongcast, he kind of feels like John Brzezinski is right at that like middle of the pack, or right at the top of like middle of the pack group, where he's not at like that elite level, which is the reason why they backed. You know, John Brzezinski was supposed to face Dodicon like back when he was supposed to face Chance Shaw, like back in the day.
I remember that. That was like one of his comeback matches.
Yeah, and they backed him out because they found out that Dodicon was going to literally put John in a fucking coffin because this dude is like world elite level. And then John goes and he hits Chance Shaw and he gets Paul Lynn and he gets Corey West. And then we're like, oh shit. We're like, John's right there. You know what I mean? But once again, I think we can all agree there's a big difference between beating Chance Shaw and beating Irakli or Gennady or Vitali, who are top of the pack arm wrestlers, right? So
do we know how old Saplankov is? He looks about 80.
I think he's 45 to 50 in that range.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say him and John, I didn't know how far their ages were apart.
Yeah, I want to say John's older than him by maybe a decade, something like that. But but you know, Dennis will admit or will say that's where he thinks John is, and he wants a match with someone like John. Which tells me that, you know, although he is one of the greatest and probably considers himself that, he's humbled by the fact that he doesn't want to go after like Irakli or like Gennady first time back. You know, give me someone who's making noise, who makes sense, but it's also, you know, close to my level. Yeah.
There's history there too with that match, so it makes it more intriguing for the arm wrestling world to want to watch that too.
That too, absolutely.
Did they ever pull again after John beat him at Zloty?
No.
Then they definitely have to pull.
Which Zloty? Because I thought they pulled a couple times. Because they also had a Vendetta match, and they pulled in Zloty a few times.
I'm referring to. I guess then maybe that. I don't know if the last match they pulled was when John beat him.
Yeah, that was John's second comeback, or the first time he had a comeback. Then he broke for a long time with COVID, and then made this last comeback that we're looking at. But yes, that last comeback that John had made with the Zloty tour and beat Dennis, that is the last time that they pulled. And that's, I think, probably another reason why Dennis is like,
For sure. That's what I was thinking.
And I think Matt nailed it. I think it's arm wrestler trolls, arm wrestler fans just wet dream.
I'd ooze over that. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, it's a fucking GOAT versus GOAT, right?
The only other good match like that would be, what's that other Russian dude that beat everybody that Travis ended up beating? He's like one of the biggest guys who was the first person to beat John. It's the movie Pulling John's about him.
Vovoda.
Yeah.
Vovoda, he needs a comeback match. Like all those big names that were like superstars back then that didn't get the spotlight and the credit and stuff. It'd be cool to see them all come back and just rip through each other.
Why the fuck not?
Vovoda came back a couple years ago against Tim Bresnan.
I was about to say Tim Bresnan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Tim Bresnan gave him hell.
I think Tim won.
I was gonna say, I think Tim either give him hell.
Let's go Tim then.
Well, but also I think that's what like got Tim on the road to Levon. I think that those wins and stuff like that are what got him on the road to being, taken in. What was that? That was IFA, or that was Vendetta? What was that?
It was like 2017 or something, 2018, I think.
Yeah, it's like 2018, 2019, right before COVID. So, but crazy. Then you see Derek Smith just smash Tim Bresnan. I was like, fuck, dude, crazy.
Yeah, I think it was there. I think it was at that tournament. It was a good tournament.
Yeah, in Cali.
King of Cali.
So what's next for the winners of King of the Table 5? What's next for Vitaly? Oh, I'm sorry. What's next for Dave? I'm sorry.
Probably some rest.
I want to see Dave and Devin.
Dave and Devin. I don't know if Devin's going to arm wrestle again for a while, it sounds like.
Well, Dave lost to Levon. Devin lost to Levon.
That's a fair. But Vitaly lost to Levon. Oh, and now Dave beat Vitaly.
Unless we're going to look at Vitaly versus Devin, which, like you said, I don't think Devin has any interest in going back to around the 275, 300 range, which he would do for someone like Vitaly. He would not have to do that for someone like Dave. Dave is like 250, 260. So Devin could still have a super match at like 230, 240, or he's walking around like 250 right now. You know what I mean? Just throw that shit in right now. But I think that makes sense, regardless of how many times they've arm wrestled. The last time they arm wrestled was so ugly because Devin's King's move was not what it is to this day. It was so fucking straight armed under the table. It was so like Devin's so much further along now that I wonder if that match might go a little bit differently. I think at least. So I'd be interested to see.
I think it's definitely interesting. Yeah,
I'd rather see Dave and Gary.
Dave and who?
Dave and who?
Gary Carteret.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that one.
Yeah.
Best in North America.
I don't think we've seen like a big stage. They've gone against each other in like tournaments. I don't think they've had a super match from what I've seen.
What about Michael Todd?
Jerry and what's his name are lined up right now, right? Jerry and Hermes.
Gasparini. That's going to be interesting.
So then, depending on how that goes, because I'd love to see a Dave versus Hermes too.
That'd be interesting, yeah. And Hermes,
that'd be a good fun. You know what I mean? There's a lot of God. Is there a better time?
There's a lot of matches.
Fan right now? Oh, fuck, dude.
No way.
That I talked to.
A lot going on. There's a tournament every weekend right now. There's a lot going on.
For real. What about Vitaly?
I want to hear about this Tucson. I want to hear what's going on in Tucson.
No, hold on.
All right. I'm excited for that. I'm jumping the gun. Sorry.
What about Irakli? What do you guys think is next for Irakli?
He's got to start pulling his own people.
Yeah.
There's no one in North America that's going to hold that guy. Besides, I don't know. Maybe Dave. I don't know.
What'd you say, Matt?
I want to see Matt Mask and Irakli. So I'm rooting against Sandris so that we could get that match.
I think Matt beats Sandris. I don't think he beats Irakli. Matt Mask is my all-time favorite arm wrestler.
Oh yeah.
So trust me, I would love nothing more to see that, because that's like a good that pushes Matt up. You know, if Matt does anything good in that match, then he's like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Rackley needs to pull Prutnik. Prutnik and Irakli would be a good match because they've practice pulled and they've both given each other a hard time.
Prudnick and Michael Todd right now lined up, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's going to be interesting.
I got Michael Todd.
You got Michael Todd?
Calling it right now.
I think Prudnick is versatile enough where he could pull out a win, but I'm not going to be shocked either way. Like both guys have their
I really like that matchup.
Should be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Okay, and then you know, I was most interested in after this pay-per-view being over with saying, dang, what's next for Morozov? Well, yeah, he did. He did win, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought, he did win. Dude, there's only one person left-handed who makes more sense. Set it up.
Who's that?
Levon.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has Hermes.
That's a good point.
Hermes and Morozov left-handed?
I think so. I think that's going to be East versus West.
I think you're right. I was just about to say, is that the next East versus West? Yes, so I think you're right. And then that's left-handed. He beats him.
Gotta be Levon.
Right? Set it up, right?
If Levon's on, I heard his left is injured. I think Levon's left. I heard he's not competing with it for a while.
What? Bro, don't make me Devin Larratt right here on this podcast.
I don't know. That's what I've heard from, I think Engen said that in one of his podcasts.
You 400-pound. No, man, that's crazy. You know, don't, hey.
Yeah,
we need to see it.
I agree. No.
Who's going to pull Levon, though, anyway?
Right-handed?
No one.
It's got to be Salayev or Zauer because they're the only weights that are even close. Their hands are going to fold to Levon's, but they're the only people who have the body weight that can give him a match. Now we know Vitaly just can't do it.
Yeah, I feel like you could strap a Honda Civic to that dude's arm and he's still holding on to it. So I don't know, dude.
Dave Chafee said it best, and I think he's right. There's Levon, and then there's the rest of the pack. The number 2 guy is so light years behind Levon that I mean, you're right. Who's next? Let's talk about the left arm. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Seriously.
What 2 people are going to arm wrestle him at once?
Ah, shit. Me and you, John. Let's do it.
Let's go, baby. I'll ref that match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
okay.
Both
Now you have permission to talk about the Tucson thing.
Yeah, tell me all about it, Matt.
30 minutes in.
You know what? Honestly, and I know there's all these really badass matches going on, but one that I'm really, really, really excited about is actually William Bishop and AJ. I think that's such an intriguing matchup because they're both so new to the sport.
Yeah.
You know, I've gripped up with both of them, and I feel pretty much the same pressures from both of them. Like, I don't really feel like a strength gap either way or anything like that. So I think it could be a pretty good match.
AJ came out to one of my house practices months ago, and that was the only data I've ever gotten on AJ, and I didn't touch him. I never got to pull him. I saw him arm wrestle a few times, but I didn't get a lasting impression in my brain of his style, whether it was inside, whether it was outside, whether his hand was good, whether he had a potential in this or that. I remember nothing. All I remember is his face. That's it. So it was kind of a good thing. It was kind of a good thing because William had came to me a few months ago and was like, yeah, I got a match. You know, he comes over and we practice every so often. Besides the practices that we go to, me and him, he's one of the very few people who likes those individual training sessions to get certain aspects, certain angles out of, you know what I mean, certain things. So really I really like when guys are interested in that kind of stuff, because it's one thing to rip each other's arms off, but to be able to work angles and certain pressures, that's how I think you get better and smarter in the game.
100%.
So I love that William is now at that phase.
Sure. That's
he's
awesome, dude. I don't think I've never even had a super match. I think I've had like one in the last 2 years.
He's had 3, bro. Where the fuck you been?
I don't know, man. I guess I'm too much of a pussy to call people out.
He lost to Dino, Ed's brother, and he lost to Aaron Bardeen. And then he just had a match.
I feel like I saw him pull somebody.
I'm tripping.
I watch all your guys' videos.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was Ben Freeman or someone else, but I think he had another match, and then now he's got this guy. But essentially what it is angles. I think Matt's right. I think what it comes down to is their strengths are not going to be one so much overpowering over the other. It's going to be more of a learning experience. You know, can one of them change lanes? Can one of them make adjustments? Can one of them
it'll probably be just an offensive battle. Everybody in their first just always wants to win.
Right. Can one of them force the straps if they want to? You know what I mean? It's little things like this that I don't think even high-level arm wrestlers that I know have been arm wrestling a long time don't have that stuff in what they call in basketball in their bag. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think that's super important to be able to have all those things in your arsenal, so that you have a better shot. Because we've all heard it. When someone's stronger than you, it doesn't mean that you're out of the game.
No.
You still have a lot of options, even though you're the weaker person. It's just, can you get to those options? Can you make those options happen? So
it's honestly, can you even remember though? Like, it's not even that you don't know. It's just like in that moment, are you calm and do you remember your game plan? Or are you just up there thinking you can just arm wrestle versus actually going like, okay, here's what's happening to my wrist. Okay, I can feel my fingers giving out.
Right.
Oh, I'm losing, my lat drag. I got to lean in now. Versus just trying to yank. Like, that's where I shit the bed, is I get up there and forget what I planned the whole time.
Muscle memory. You know what I mean? Your body gets used to the same movements. That's why they talk about how important table time is multiple times a week. And I think that it doesn't get said enough. I think it gets said, hey, yeah, go practice 2 times a week, but it's not said at what level. It's not said at what strength. It's not said at what intensity, at what pace. Those things are so important, because what I'm talking about, like with William, when William comes over, I don't kill him. You know what I mean? We're going at like a 50% speed just to figure things out. We're still getting a workout, but at the same time, we're more or less learning than we are attacking or strength building, if you will. So,
correct.
Predictions. I got to go with my boy. I only know how he arm wrestles. And also, wait, do you know any of the rule sets, match length, anything like that? Or is it just individual upon the match?
We normally, when we have super matches, we normally go like with a more WAF style. Like, no running fouls really. But this could all be changed, moment of it. If both athletes agree that they want running fouls, we're probably going to accommodate that,
Right.
All that. It really depends on Greg. He's the one running it, but Greg's normally pretty good with, if both athletes want something, like if they're both okay with it, he's gonna be like, yeah, whatever.
For sure.
But I can't get a prediction for this one because I don't know. But what I do know is I think that these two are really going to be able to start finding their identity as arm wrestlers with this match.
I do too.
Out when you're pressed, when you're backed in the corner, what are you going to do? What is your move that you go to when you're desperate?
Right.
Stuff like that. I think like what John said earlier, this is going to be more learning than anything, but it's going to be interesting to watch because have some experience. AJ's pulled at Arizona State. Will's had some of those matches, so like it's not like they kind of know what they're doing, but now it's going to be okay. Now I'm redline. Now it's a war.
That's the thing I fucking love.
Oh, this guy wants to win just as bad as I do. I actually have to go.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that that's the one thing that I know and that I love about William, that I will forever have that dude's back and whatever he needs is he will leave his shit on the table, bro. That dude's got heart. He's lost probably like a body off of him since he started arm wrestling as far as how much weight he's lost. And it's because of how much he sweats. And it's because of how hard he's fucking going in the paint. You feel me? Like that dude is the definition of heart on the table. So good. I know he's bringing that. If he's not, I mean, learning anything from our little sessions we're getting, I know for a fact he's bringing his shoulder into the match. I know he's he ain't gonna give up. So that's also something that makes it really exciting. But yeah, I think what is this? Is this AJ's first match, like super match like this?
I believe so. If he's had one before, I don't know about it.
Okay, so that makes a big difference because to me, AJ's kind of walking into this as in like, okay, feelers. Let's see where I'm at. This is my.
How do you do at Arizona State? Did I arm wrestle him? Was he 165s? What weight class?
No, he was in the 232s, like the one right below the 233 plus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. These are bigger boys. My fault.
But William, I think, is on like a 0-2 or 0-3 losing streak.
He's got to win then.
Exactly. Bishop better bring a towel. It's gonna get What's up, man? So yeah, I think that Williams really got his back up against the wall in this one. Gotta get a win. If he doesn't, this is the type of situation that can make you lose interest in what you're doing. And that's
for no reason, though, which is it's so silly.
Right. I hate that because I've been there. Yeah. You take a few losses and you start looking at yourself like, fuck, dude, is this for me? You know what I mean? So I hope, because I know the kid's working, that regardless of what happens, he just looks at it as, like we said, a learning experience. But
absolutely.
Fucking get that win, William. Let's see what's good.
Yeah.
I know Greg has got a match with Mr. Aaron Bardeen.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I've seen Greg arm wrestle. I don't know who Aaron is, and I've seen Greg do real well. So I
know who Aaron is. Aaron's a tall kid who was calling me out for a little while.
I don't think I've never really gripped up with him though, or anything like that.
I'll tell you what.
But I know Greg's strong. I watched Greg win Texas. I went to Texas and watched him win. I don't know. Did you go with us to Texas, Matt?
Yeah. Greg and I, for our divisions, I got first place left-handed. He got first place right, and then he got second left. Right. So no, Greg's
got the experience for sure. I'm gonna go with Greg on that one, just based on what I know.
Is he training?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Not as much as he'd like to lately, but he's still doing good. I gripped up with him 2 weeks ago, and he's feeling solid.
Okay, cool.
I'm not. Yeah, no, that's going to be a good match too. Again, this isn't where I think it's a toss-up. Also, I think these are all really good matches. So
I want the winner of that match.
Who's Juan pulling? Ben said he can't go, so Juan took his spot.
Juan's pulling Celso.
Kelso, yeah. Captain America, right?
Yeah, I gotta remember all these people again. But I think he was the weight class above you. I think he was in the 185s. Like,
okay,
this dude's like ripped, like
really?
Like in America. Like this guy's cut.
Yeah, and I've heard that young too as well, right?
Oh yeah, he's 18, 19.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So once again, don't know too much about him. I think I've seen him arm wrestle once or twice. There's some footage of him at Arizona State, I believe.
Did he do good?
He did pretty well. I think he placed.
Oh wow!
And then,
I gotta go back and watch it. Then
this isn't pro. This is amateur. But and I love that age group. I love when someone is doing well somewhere between that 18 to 21 year range, because they're arm wrestling with so many people that are like 30, 28, 39.
I get so jealous.
And they're like, they're telling their girlfriend and their mom, I'm fucking these old men up. Like they can't even hold on to me. You know what I mean? That's got to be a great feeling to know.
It would push you so much more to work so much harder.
Right.
If I would have started this when I was way younger, it would be a way different. Yeah. you'd be like way more gung ho about working out and busting ass.
So like the Brugers, the Josiahs, the Kelsos, these guys who I want. If you're watching this right now, the sky is the limit for you, because you have interest.
I got to arm wrestle Bruger again, man. I got to arm wrestle Bruger again.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I can't for like 6 months, but I definitely do. And if you're
it's not
watching,
gonna go
Michael,
well
you
for
know
you.
we got to arm wrestle, dude.
It is not going to go well for you. He is. I think he is starting to get into that next weight class.
I want to lose, man. I treat arm wrestling like street racing, dude. I just love it, bro. I don't care if I fucking lose, dude. But I've arm wrestled Bruger before, and what I'm seeing is not the Bruger I remember. So it's more just like I want to see what's up.
But once again, Bruger started this as a young boy, as a young man, an old teenager, if you will, and was like $170 maybe, 165 I think is when he started this soaking wet, holding the bowling ball. And now the kid's got some burgers on him, and I think he's walking around 180 now pretty comfortably.
Oh, really? Oh, last time I saw him, he said 172.
No.
But that was the last time I saw you guys.
Ryan, don't let him tell you he's any less
than
he weighed in.
He weighed in at AZ State. I'm sorry, that was the last time I saw you guys. So that's when I'm going off of, and he pulled in the 170s.
No, he's a thick boy now. He's got some neck testicles. He's got some stuff going on now. I've been watching my boy. I've been watching him. I'm like, hey, boy, what you doing? You working out? You putting in something? You shooting in your butt? Like I want to know. But no. Like he said, he's probably not going to touch any of that stuff until he's younger, which I appreciate. You don't have to right now. You are building strength on another level because of your age. Your body is still able to grow naturally. Correct. Use that wisely so that you're
not losing your hair and shit like I am. So
don't stub your toe. Don't stub your toe. You don't need to do that.
No, dude.
I will say, I think that if Aaron cheats a little bit in the setup, he might make it interesting. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he might make it interesting. I'm telling you, every single match is going to the straps right now. They're going to slip out every round for round one. Every one of them is going to go to the straps. I think Greg takes over because he's a grown man from there.
Everybody just listening, chain grip. Stop letting people slip, dude. That's the funniest shit to watch, bro, when someone goes to slip and the person just, like you're going down.
That was my move before I started training straps. Was I was like, no, I'm gonna grip like
the Cobra,
hard.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there money on any of this, or is it for the rankings? Is it for funsies? Since Greg's doing it, is it going in the rankings?
I think where this all came from is the match that we're going to get into next, which is the only match left and the most important one. Unless I'm wrong, unless there's another one, but Miguel versus Tony.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me think if there's another one. I'm not sure.
I think that's what started the whole thing. Is we've been talking a long time now about seeing this happen. So at Arizona State, Anthony Barrasso,
my guy, dude.
My guy had a big match against one of the brothers. I can't remember their last names, but the two brothers from down in Mexico.
That dude in that like pink tight shirt or whatever he was wearing.
Yeah, and
that guy was strong.
They had a war, bro. They had probably one of the better matches of the entire tournament.
Oh yeah.
That day, and so Tony lost, I believe, and the guy who beat Tony also beat Miguel. So they were all like right there, but I don't think Tony and Miguel ever touched each other at the tournament.
No, they never.
And now Miguel has lost some of this weight to where he's walking around at that 200 to 210-ish range, what I think Tony walks around at. So,
dude, Tony is chiseled, bro. That guy looks like he'd be like 270.
No,
I don't know where he's hiding it.
I know, man. I'm like, dude, I don't know where you're hiding all this weight at, bro, or how you're concealing it, I guess. Because dude, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a freak. He's an absolute monster. You guys gripped up with him?
Oh yeah, another one of those guys that
I spare myself the embarrassment.
if he focused on the sport, I don't know. I can't imagine what rank he would be at in the state if he wasn't doing Highland games. And
top 5 for his weight class, easy, dude. Probably top 3.
He already is.
Out of him and Ron pulled.
Yeah, and Ron beat him, and that's what I'm. So that's where I'm getting at right now.
Interesting.
I want to see the winner of this match train for Ron. I want to see the winner of this match.
We got to get Ron on the table, man. Ron needs some. I've never seen Ron do a super match,
exactly,
and I've known Ron for 2.5 years.
Ron is sitting on his couch eating ribeyes right now, and he will arm wrestle everybody in the state and make us all look like small children.
It's crazy, dude.
So something's got to get him motivated, which what I would hope would be someone in his weight class, someone that's making some noise, someone that's training hard, someone that even he knows the name. So that would be one of them too. So I think Miguel probably has a better chance at getting that match if he wins because he's right here in Phoenix. They know each other. It probably wouldn't be like a turmoil match or anything like that. It would just be a respect, get it over and done with match. But would have to happen. He would have to win in order for it to happen, which I'm going to tell you right now, I think he does.
Yeah.
I think it is very.
You think Miguel wins?
I think Miguel wins. I think the only.
I don't know who would win this. I really don't watch enough of Miguel.
Which, knock on wood, no one ever wants to see anyone get injured. But Miguel puts himself in these positions that I'm just like, oh, my God. I'm just like, oh, my God. I don't want to watch. Don't want to watch.
Elbow.
You know what I mean? But that's where he's strong.
I've been there. Position.
Is he going to do that against Tony, against a guy who – he doesn't arm wrestle a ton. He will fucking throw his whole body. He will wrench your arm. It doesn't care what position you're in. You know what I mean? So even if it's not like I'm not talking about like an arm break, but if something happens to Miguel where he gets compromised and can't use his weapon, I think that is a lane that Tony could then change shit up. But I think Miguel goes shoulder forward, slips out. We go into the straps. Right where Tony wants it. And I think that it's a complete outside hand game versus a shoulder forward inside elbow game by Miguel.
Correct.
And I think, and this is no offense to Miguel because Miguel's my fucking boy, but I think Miguel would be stupid to think that he can hold on to Tony's hand. Tony has
a big hand.
Well, not only that, but his hand is a strongman hand. He fucking throws
he's
shit.
Throwing 80-pound things over a 20-foot pole.
And once again, Miguel, doesn't have a big hand. He's got a great wrist, but he doesn't have a big hand. He doesn't have a majority thick hand. He has a normal size hand. So he's got
the experience though. He's got the game plan. So it's tough. And and the elbow. I mean, if you have the elbow, you can definitely take a lot more damage than people expect.
And you can make shit so interesting because he's been arm wrestling over a decade. So I'm sure maybe he tries a top roll just to see how shit goes, just to see. Sure. But then he can switch it up and go. These, to me, no offense to Tony, but these aren't things Tony has in his bag. These aren't things that you're going to see Tony like 2 feet under, high post. Okay, let's try a rolling top roll. That's not working. Let's low hand. These aren't things that I feel like Tony's going to be doing, where it's like Tony goes for his silver bullet, and then when it doesn't fail or when it doesn't work, let's do my silver bullet twice as hard as I just did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Which is totally fine. There's people who make that shit work.
Matt, are these 3 best of 3 or best of 5?
I think they're best of 5. Yeah.
Good. Those best of 3 matches just don't give you enough of a reading on these things.
I know that the Tony versus Miguel is at least 5, but I don't know about the other ones. And that's why I was asking is maybe it's per individual, what they decide on. Some of the lower end matches tend to be just the best of 3 because they're just trying to get them through.
Sure.
But I also know, I saw the text message today that you guys are doing the main event first.
Smart.
So we'll see. I'm not going to be able to make it down. I wish I would be able to, but it's just not going to fit into the schedule. I wanted to come down with William. but it's too last minute. I'm hoping someone is gonna record because I don't.
A whole setup with lights and everything.
Okay, cool.
Like pretty high
Nice.
quality.
Post the
cool.
link if it's a live stream.
I don't think it's live. I think Greg's gonna put some really good editing work in it. You guys have seen his videos, right? He does really good videos, and so we're expecting that quality
for sure.
Level
nice.
Video. So
sweet.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, me too, man. Was there any matches that we forgot, Matt, or was that all of them?
I think that's it. I thought there was another one, but there was supposed to be another one, but it fell through. It was supposed to be Aaron Schiermeyer and man, I don't even remember this dude's name from up
Robert
there.
Radke.
Yeah, they were supposed to go left-handed.
Yep.
Ooh. Aaron's pretty good left-handed, isn't he? Or is it right-handed? Is he more dominant? I think it's left, right?
Yeah, he's got different tools. Like he says he likes to top roll more right-handed. I feel like his left top rolls a little more.
That's how I am too, man. Both my arms don't do the same thing.
No.
Yeah. I can't hook left-handed like at all.
Me either. Me either, dude. It's like a 12-year-old trying to hook you.
Yeah, no, it's just not there. So
I am top roll life all the way, and my hook on my left is way better than my top roll. I don't know why.
My hook is everything's better right-handed no matter what. But I can top roll left-handed. It's just not as good.
My strap left-handed is.
Either way, it is going to be a fun day tomorrow of arm wrestling. I hope that Matt, which of these Tucson guys are coming in? Yeah, that's a great question.
State Fair.
No one's confirmed yet, but we talked in our little group chat for just the Tucson guys, and we should have a pretty decent group coming up.
Just tell Leo he can't come. He's not allowed.
Okay. Well, Leo's going to be coming tomorrow too, actually. So
nice.
We're excited for that. So I know you and me had talked briefly about Diego. Is that his name? Yeah.
Is he going to be there tomorrow?
He should be. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm guessing you guys are going to be doing some after pulling that'll get some recording as well.
Yeah, I hope so. And if not, I'll record the after pulling.
Okay, for sure. I'd like to see some of this guy pull. I pulled him once at Scott's, but I was a small child at that point because of me just getting done arm wrestling. I think Scott and then Ron right after each other.
So that sounds fun.
Really nice. He's solid. He's
that's what I've heard. And he's tall. I believe he's like 3 or 4 inches taller than me. So
yeah.
But yeah, that would be fun anytime that you guys come down here. Oh, well, so we're planning on November. So October 29th, we are going to have a huge Halloween party pool. I'm going to announce it in the chat here this week, put it up on my Facebook and make the whole shebang. But we do it every year where we set up a carport, like a haunted house, and then have a party for Halloween. And then now for the last year or so, because I've been in arm wrestling, we've attached a practice to it the same day. So it kind of is more or less an arm wrestler party with a practice, and then everyone dresses up, that kind of thing. It's a later day, a later night, that kind of thing. It's going to be a pretty big turnout. It's going to be a good time. Any of the Tucson guys are more than welcome to come down. There aren't going to be any matches. It's just going to be a good time and a practice for the Halloween one. And then 2 weeks from that date, I'm going to be setting up matches every 2 weeks, like I was when I first started Armtillery, when I was trying to get everyone involved and stuff like that. I think there has been enough traction, enough movement on their own to where there's now some new matches that make sense, some new people that we can see with new techniques, new strengths, switch some stuff up. There's new players in the game. Scott West has got a couple new guys. John Brezink just released a video of a new like Tongan looking dude who looks strong as dick. So as long as we can continue to get new players in the game, keep this ball rolling, I think we're always going to have some content, some shit to give to the community and keep this number growing of how many people here in Arizona arm wrestling. So
when's Eric's and
it's supposed to be sometime this month, but I've heard nothing but
do it the 29th.
I would love that in costume.
I'll be there.
You know what I mean?
And then we got to see Wayne and Eric Wolf pull to squash that.
Yeah.
Probably never gonna happen. Probably
Nope.
never ever gonna happen.
Probably
But
not gonna happen.
absolutely, I would love to see it. So yeah, but then in November is gonna be go time, pretty much until it gets hot again. You know what I mean? The only reason why we took this big hiatus is because it was I was
smoldering out there, dude.
Heat strokes in my backyard. So
it was 100 degrees at 6 p.m. That's not cool.
Right. I can't. You said what, Matt?
This has got really wet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't express how excited I am for this time of the year for that reason being.
Absolutely.
So that we can just fucking rip each other's arms off all the time. So I love you both. It has been a ton of fun. We hit our hour mark.
Absolutely, brother. It was great chatting with you guys.
Yeah. Let's do it again. Matt, thanks for joining, man. It was good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it was good seeing you, Matt.
Yeah.
Have fun tomorrow.
Everybody in the chat, if you're going tomorrow, be safe on driving and keep your arms safe and stay strong and love arm wrestling. Sorry, Coach Ray.
Let's go, baby. Have a good night, you guys.
All right, y'all.